Welcome into DC On Screen episode 385. This is your weekly DCEU news. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This, my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
And as a quick reminder up front, you can now leave us a voicemail and be a part of the show. Just call 205-259-6331 and leave us a voicemail, and we'll throw that in to the show and, respond.
I'm still hoping someone calls in and just insults the crap out of us. And we can
I'm waiting.
We can just play that.
Bated breath.
Yeah.
So, Wonder Woman tickets are now on sale.
Mm-hmm. I have a money crunch coming up this week, and then after that, I'll have my pre-tickets ready to go.
Right. Yeah, I haven't bought mine yet either.
I got a few more days of being frugal ahead of me, and then after that, good to go.
Yeah, I don't have really a money crunch going on as so much as I have a memory crunch.
Keep forgetting.
Yeah.
When I actually do it, I'll let you know I've done it just to remind you one more time.
Right. So, speaking of Wonder Woman's opening weekend,
mm-hmm.
there are some initial estimates floating about, and it's a pretty big gap. Some people are thinking 65 million opening weekend, some 105 million.
That's a pretty big difference.
It is.
I mean,
I don't know what to say about it other than
neither one of those is particularly bad, but
no,
it's not terrible. Like, what Guardians make? Like 70 over the first weekend?
Oh, I have no idea, man. I have a hard enough time keeping up with the DC stuff.
I forget which one.
Yeah, I didn't look that up, but so yeah, I don't think either one will be bad for Wonder Woman. Obviously, let's hope for 105 or more. But they released a new international trailer. There's just a little bit of additional footage, some extended scenes, some quick stuff of Wonder Woman fighting Ares.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you can barely see him.
Yeah.
Etta Candy reacting comically. Looks like Wonder Woman breaking what appears to me to be like a military supply truck in half.
Why not?
And there's a cool establishing shot of Diana training on a high precipice on Themyscira. That's what I noticed. That was new in the trailer. Looked pretty cool. It was really, it was an international trailer. I can never really seem to find like a good 1080
mm-hmm.
copy of an international trailer. They all look like they, came off of rabbit ears from the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like somebody did it with VHS, just with really good tracking.
Yeah. Now they've started talking about, by the way, really quick, I'm going to throw in this right up front, or as close to up front as I can.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 review after the credits of this episode.
Mm.
We're going to talk about that for a minute. So just to let you guys know about that.
In case anyone wants to stick around. I love our little Marvel stingers.
I do too.
They amuse me.
I mean, the entire show amuses me.
I just enjoy doing it.
Yeah. So some initial reviews, like reactions on Twitter have been popping up for Wonder Woman. And, this is all grain of salt stuff because a lot of these people, they either gave good reviews to Suicide Squad or, they were all there at the premiere with Patty Jenkins, and there are a lot of people online telling us there are all these different reasons why we shouldn't trust these. Mm-hmm. But here they are anyway. Mark and Draco, a comic book writer, says, I can't get into specifics, but Gal Gadot gives a beautiful, nuanced, powerful performance. Patty Jenkins is so good with actors. Anna Klassen, I just saw Wonder Woman, not allowed to talk about it yet, but will say Patty Jenkins is a wonderful human who is too good for this world. BatmanNews.com says, I haven't seen Wonder Woman, but I've chatted with about 12 people that have. They all loved it. This really could be the one.
That'd be great. We really need it. Like, team I Still Love These Movies we need a W.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Andy Leah, who from the Daily Star Sunday, who apparently has gotten a lot of flack for digging Suicide Squad, says that Wonder Woman is really good, dark but funny too. Gadot is great, and the Amazons are brilliant. Paul Sheary Heard some Wonder Woman reactions. Can't say anything except I can't wait for everyone to hear them. Now, there is a review embargo date. BatmanNews.com is reporting that it is May 31st. And then that is when the reviews can be published.
The moratorium ends.
Can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not the slaughter.
It has been. Like, BVS looked like it was doing okay, and then that deadline passed, and it got rough real fast.
Yep.
Suicide Squad had a bigger problem with it, actually. Like, it all looked like it was trending the right way, and then that happened, and it was just a torrent of bad reviews. It was really frustrating.
Absolutely. So they released some clips for Mother's Day. There's a clip of basically Chris Pine telling Gal Gadot or Diana, I can't let you do this. And she says, what I do is not up to you. Mm-hmm. Kind of a badass clip.
Oh, yeah.
I dug it.
Yeah. I've seen that somewhere, though. I like the line.
Yeah. And then there's a bit where Diana is flipping over a spear in training. She looks to Hippolyta for approval, and she gets it. Like, Hippolyta, kind of smirks, smiles, and nods at her. It was all happy. It was all like a happy Mother's Day thing.
Yeah.
They were doing. They also released new pictures of Chris Pine. One of them, he's using the gun on his plane, and then the other, he's leaning up against his plane. Not a lot of news there. Just some nice little pictures.
Some pickers.
Just some pictures. Now, jumping back to a few weeks ago when they were saying there's no Wonder Woman coverage, Gal Gadot posted pictures of Times Square. It's just plastered with giant billboards of Wonder Woman everywhere. So that was nice to see.
That is nice. I mean, Times Square is just a living billboard. Mm-hmm. I've been there, and every time I walk through it, you just you leave needing high fructose corn syrup of some kind. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Now, said Taghmaoui, who's playing the character Samir, one of the allies of Steve Trevor, he posted an interesting thing on the internet there, on Instagram of all places. Uh-huh. It was a picture of his character side by side with Blackhawk, with the caption, coming soon. So he could tie in with the Blackhawks, or be Blackhawk, from Quality Comics.
All right.
I don't know. I'd be down with seeing the Blackhawk Squadron somewhere.
All right, cool.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
They released a track listing of the Wonder Woman soundtrack. Apparently Sia, the pop singer Sia, is going to be on there in a song with Labyrinth called To Be Human. And the album goes on sale June 2nd. I think the rest of it's just it's not like a Suicide Squad situation. It's pretty much looks like it's just going to be like the score, and then like her track is last. So
the score and like a couple of specific songs, maybe.
No, it looks like just the score and one song.
Ah, yeah, fair enough.
It goes on sale June 2nd, same day as the movie's released. So
I really can't remember the name of it. There's a Sia song that I actually really do like.
I don't think I've ever heard one I liked.
Yeah, couldn't remember it for my life right now. Somewhere later in the cast, I'm going to be like, blah, 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 and spit it out and like that, and remember it suddenly.
Yeah. So there have been reports over the last several weeks that they have no plans to do a Wonder Woman 2. And Arthur Wong, DCEU on Twitter, is reporting, and a couple others reported too, that Zack Snyder at the Chinese red carpet event for Wonder Woman said that Wonder Woman 2 was coming, and that Deborah Snyder said it was coming, and it's going to be coming after Batgirl. Joss Whedon's Batgirl. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you've ever been curious about Joss Whedon's Wonder Woman script, that is now online for free.
Nice.
Just floating around out there. I'll put up a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And, it's not transgression of any kind. Just scripts just make it out. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Over to Justice League, there was Diane Lane had an appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. And a caller asked Lane if she could share any Justice League spoilers and if the movie will be better than the Avengers. Her answer was no and no. Short but honest. I hate to disappoint, but... And the fan base imploded. And then Lane's representatives were approached, and they gave out this response. Diane meant sorry to disappoint in reference to revealing anything concerning Justice League that is not already out in the public, and was declined to comment on a film, Avengers, that she has not seen. She is thrilled to continue her role as Martha Kent and appreciates your excitement for Justice League. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to clarify this. I watched that segment. It did not seem that's what she was saying, but I doubt that she's had an actual... I doubt that she's seen a cut of Justice League at this point anyway.
I would doubt that, and I would also freely accept that she hasn't seen the Avengers.
I would too.
Yeah, I mean this tracks for me. Like I mean, it may seem a little off, but I got no problems with that.
Yeah,
that seems like a viable explanation.
The way she said it seemed like, nah, it's not going to be good. Moving on. So they have cast Ludi Lin. I think that's how you... Ludi Lin? I don't know.
We never know.
From Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. From Power Rangers. They've cast him in Aquaman as the character Murk. In the comics, Murk is a military leader of Atlantis' men of war. He's initially loyal to Orm, then switches sides to Aquaman, then winds up siding with Orm when Orm becomes Ocean Master. So maybe that'll be a big part, or... I mean, it really wasn't that big in the comics, but...
Goes where the power is, huh?
I guess so. Superhero News podcast is reporting that Aquaman is going to include creatures that are half man, half fish, who have arms, legs, fins, big heads, big eyes, and long, sharp teeth. Who am I, Will Smith? Teeth. A lot of people are saying this sounds like The Trench. That was what I thought of when I heard that.
Yeah.
The Trench are an offshoot civilization of Atlanteans that adapted near a deep sea trench. Mm-hmm. And they kind of just became these grotesque, terrible-looking things that, like, I don't know, spit paralytic chemicals at people. So, yeah, that was a Jeff Johns thing. They were introduced in the New 52. And they're saying that they're going to be... Juan's doing practical monsters, so that I'm down. With his like horror expertise, I'm kind of excited about the prospect of the Trench showing up in the DCEU.
Sure.
Also, there's only like 2 Aquaman villains that you can ever remember. Ocean Master, Black Manta. Done, right? Yep. And that's if, you ever remember Ocean Master. Like, I was talking to this guy one time in a comic book shop, and he was just like, oh yeah, I mean, like, they could do a lot with Aquaman. Like, Black Manta's like his brother, but like, he was always like exiled because he was black, and I'm like, what? I don't think that's Lord. How that worked. I thought, I wonder how many people combine those two, like Orm and Black Manta. Oh, wow. Well, as I covered last week, there's a lot of misinformation happening in those stores. Yeah. That was one of those situations where I looked at Paul, the owner of Legion, and I said, I don't know what to do here. I need a drink. And I left. I actually got him to laugh. It was awesome. Nice. So Josh Gad, last week we reported that he posted a picture of the Penguin, and Jeff Johns and John Berg followed him on Twitter. He was asked about it. He says, I was just having some fun. Just having some fun. Really, I promise. There's nothing to... There's no there. Yeah. You know what? The internet just goes wild. I'm just having some fun putting things out there. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot to, spark a fire on Twitter. He does say that he would absolutely be open to playing the Penguin in a Batman movie. He's never met Matt Reeves, though. But when they asked if there was anything at all to the rumors, he said, we'll see. I really don't want that. Yeah. You never know. So, Batman v Superman has officially joined the all-time best-selling Blu-ray list. Nice. Yeah. Top 50 list of all-time best-selling Blu-ray titles in the United States is set number 48, with 2,321,588 Blu-ray sales since June 28th, 2016. Nice. Well, that's what happens when you hold out the pieces of the story that make it make sense. Yeah.
They essentially held like the cogency of that story hostage.
Mm-hmm. Man of Steel is apparently number 18 on the list.
Well, that is a little confusing.
Yeah, Frozen is at the top.
That is not at all confusing.
Avengers is at number 5. Dark Knight Rises at number 8.
I mean, I hated Frozen. I made it halfway through and I just like fell to the floor and got in the fetal position and crawled out of the room. I couldn't do it. I tried. Sorry. I really tried.
Deadpool is 18. Man of Steel is 19.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like Man of Steel, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you with a straight face that it's not Deadpool.
Two different things. I enjoyed Deadpool more though.
Yeah, it's sure. Deadpool's just a tighter movie than Man of Steel. Period. I think.
So a few weeks ago, we talked about Charlie Hunnam talking about how he wasn't interested in superheroes. He's never read it. And he's not playing Green Arrow. He was on Omelatev, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
It was a foreign YouTube channel. I don't know how they pronounced it because I didn't watch that part. I only followed the actual timestamp and watched the part about Green Arrow.
Sure. As one does.
So the guy asked him about Green Arrow, and Hunnam was like, "So what's the deal with this? I don't. What? Why is everyone asking me about this?" And the guy was like, "Oh, I mean, you look exactly alike. You know, the way you act in your movies, you're very much like Green Arrow in the comics." And he was like, "Have they not made one before?" And he's like, "Well, they have a show Arrow, but that's like a different take on him," which is absolutely fair.
Mm-hmm.
And Hunnam was like, the interviewer was talking about like, "Oh, people are going nuts, they're going crazy, talking about how you would be perfect for it." And Hunnam he just grinned and looked at the camera and said, "Well, come on, DC, what's up? Give me a call. I'm here."
No one's fighting you. Bring it. Let's do
it. So a couple years ago, Tyrese Gibson was campaigning to be Green Lantern. And now he's started up again, I guess. He put up a picture of a very obviously fake CG pic of himself as Jon Stewart. And with the caption, "It's time." All right, buddy. Whatever.
I wish you the best.
Yeah, time for what? Whatever.
Time for him to get that role, apparently.
I mean, I guess that's what he was implying.
Yeah.
Maybe it's happening. So, by the way, really quick, do you think Jeff Johns and John Berg are just following random people on Twitter now just to screw with people? Because they figured out that we've figured out what it means?
Yeah, I think I would if I were them. And I'm willing to posit that Jeff Johns is minimally as smart as I am. Surely he's figured that out. Like, just mess with people. Follow a couple people here that might fit the role. You've got to take advantage of this opportunity to red herring people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I totally believe that he's messing with people sometimes because it just seems too obvious.
Fair enough. So while promoting Baywatch, The Rock.
There's a sentence we didn't think we would be saying on our podcast. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know what the world has in store for you, man.
So The Rock says that his solo movie is still happening. He says it's definitely going to happen. Sure. This is all to Fandango, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "We've had great conversations with Jeff Johns and everyone over at DC. It's an exciting time right now for everyone at DC because they are in a process now where they are building out their universe really nicely. We have a really cool surprise for Black Adam that I can't reveal in terms of where we will see Black Adam being introduced."
Oh, cool.
So he could really just show up anywhere now.
Show up somewhere in Justice League 2, maybe?
I don't know. As for fighting Superman, he says one fine day that's coming. That's in the cards. We've got this covered, asked him at the same event, who he would like to see play Shazam. And he says, let's see. For example, I'm going to throw out a name out there, and I want to see how the fans will react to it. A guy who I met, I went, wow, that guy is such a cool guy. He's a lot bigger than I thought he would be. And when I walked away, I remember telling our producer, who I've worked with for a long time, we both looked at each other and was like, possibly Shazam? And we were like, yeah. I'm not going to say his name. I'm just going to say Lone Ranger.
Wow.
So, Army Hammer's back in the mix.
Yeah. I'm not sure that would fit.
I'm not sure.
Doesn't really look the part.
He doesn't look the part to me either.
But, good actor. Always plays always plays like high bravado characters well. So.
Mm-hmm. I really can't think of an actor I would really want to see in that part, though.
Yeah, I would have to have some time. I wouldn't know somebody off the top of my head that I would just be willing to pitch.
I think importantly, anything they do, they've got to get past the cheesiness of it. I'm not saying take the joy out of it, but I'm
he's
saying
the big
past
cheese.
the cheesiness of it.
You have to have some of that.
A little bit, but, I think the most important part of any Shazam movie, where Shazam is the main character, where Billy Batson is the main character, you got to have the heart.
Yeah, the heart's got to be there to justify the cheese, frankly.
I mean, you got to see, like, this is, a kid doing his version of Superman.
Yeah.
That's...
Like is it Justice League Unlimited when they finally address that? Or Justice League? Anyway, at some point they address, like, you're just a 14-year-old kid on this council of...
I thought that was Young Justice.
Oh, God, it was Young Justice. Bless you. Yeah, like, he mentors the team for a second and then comes back. You're right. Yeah, but, like, I liked that take on it, where he's like, he's a little sad he can't go to the party sometimes. Like, he's got this, like, 14-year-old maturity, but, there is, like, the wisdom of Solomon hanging around there.
Yeah. So that is all I have for the news. And this episode is a short news episode. Ooh. We do have one piece of listener feedback. As Nathan at WobblyBoots85 says, "You guys were right. Rick and Morty is freaking awesome."
I completely stand by that. I just every time, and I started grabbing the Rick and Morty comics recently. Oh, they're fantastic, man. They are fantastic. It's missing nothing. There's not a point where you're reading it and thinking, "Oh, this wouldn't happen in the show." It's just you're reading like a storyboard for the show. That's it, for like an episode that never happened.
I have volume 1, but I've only read a little bit of it. I haven't gotten to read the whole thing.
I ordered volume 1, finished it, and immediately went to Amazon and ordered volume 2. And like I even then I looked up what episodes or what issues were available in trade paperback or not, and then went immediately to the local comic book store and said, "Okay, I need you to order these because these aren't available."
Right. All right, guys. So we are DC On Screen. You can find every episode of DC On Screen at dconscreen.com. We are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, giantsizeteamup.com. You can find us, talk to us on Twitter, on Facebook, DC On Screen, one word. We're also on Instagram, DC On Screen, one word. You can find me on Snapchat, as a couple of people have recently, at David C. Robertson. I guess I could mention one thing on as far as feedback is concerned that I forgot about. I'm not used to getting things on Snapchat. But one listener actually sent us something through there, and maybe it'll show up. So Snapchat is notorious for, deleting things.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
That's kind of how it's designed. Yeah. But let's see. Well, really, we actually just had like a normal conversation. But he says he says, waiting on the edge of my seat for the next episode of DC movie news. And he says, you guys are awesome. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in there. But we had a full-blown conversation, which is what happens when you contact us, generally. A guy by the name of Gabe. And, but yeah, starting to get people from Snapchat as well, and that's cool. So if you want to follow me on Snapchat, it's David C. Robertson, one word. And, again, you can call us at 205-259-6331 and leave us a voicemail.
For whatever reason.
We will play it on the show. Yeah, we'll play it on the show. Talk about it. We are going to be, if you wait until right after the little doont sound of the music, you can hear a spoiler-filled Guardians of the Galaxy review, and that might actually last longer than the show. Who knows?
Hard to say.
And then we'll be coming right back with the DC TV news, which is also pretty truncated this week. So, until then, guys, keep some DC on your screen. Alright, guys, so we're gonna do a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 review. And, just for those people out there who are curious as to what we thought, if I'm gonna go the non-spoiler route, On Twitter, I wrote specifically, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is wonderful, laughed hard, cried hard, a spellbinding sci-fi spectacle with heaps of heart. Hashtag I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. And that's where I landed on that. As far as spoiler free.
Yeah, that's a solid wrap up.
You have a spoiler free? Is that, you just going to use that one?
No, my spoiler free review was, I laughed the entire time, and I knew for sure it was a good movie when I heard my wife crying. Mm-hmm. Because she doesn't care about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
That just means intrinsically the movie made her cry.
Yeah. All right, so after further than that, I'll
onto the spoilers.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Yeah. I guess so. Like, onto the spoilers. Freaking Yondu, man.
Yeah. That was rough. Like me and you were talking about it earlier. Like the problem is like somewhere between. There's a point where like Rocket gives him just one spacesuit, and one what's the other one? What else he give him?
Oh, gosh, what was it? A communicator?
There you go.
I don't even know.
I think so.
I don't even know.
I think so.
I really don't know.
But it's clearly like a limited edition set of things, and he's going to go save Peter, and you kind of like I was already doing the math on that. I was like, oh, Peter has to keep Ego occupied. Oh, I know where this goes. And when Yondu says, I've done a lot, I'm paraphrasing, but I've done a lot of bad things in my life. Give me this. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought, oh, this is going to be bad. But I mean, you get to the lines though where it's like, he may have been your father, but I was your daddy. And up there when like up there after he saves him and tries to get him off the planet and get him back to the ship, and he like Peter's just trying to peel the freaking like spacesuit thing off him so he can give it to Yondu, and he's just like holding his face like it's okay, and you can see the crystallization as he freezes. Oh, it's just rough, man.
Yeah.
And just sobbing the entire time. Like
I pretty much like you were already in bed when we got out of the movie, and I was excited. I like texted Matt from the MCU cast, and I was like, just saw Guardians, and he called me, and I don't know, I started talking about that scene, and like I started crying.
Oh yeah, just describing it. Just describing it. No, the part where like when I go retell the story, if you ask me to like tell the tale, like give me the oral version of this story. It's the part where like the Ravagers finally show up and it's a Ravager funeral.
Oh yeah, like from the point where like that was like one of those things where like I'd enjoyed pretty much the entire movie up until that point, and Yondu, has that line where like he might be your father, but he ain't your daddy. Yeah. And I went, oh, that's an awful. Oh no, he's not making it out.
Yeah. If you hadn't caught it before, you were supposed to know then. Oh, we're done with this guy.
Yeah, and it was one of those like, and I probably should have known on some level. Like I should have known when. That's the thing though. I should have known when Yondu talks to Stallone. And he says, "You'll never see the lights, when you die," or blah blah blah. Blah. Yeah, I should have known.
No, that was a great setup too. It was organic. It made sense in the movie, and then later when it comes back around, and you see poor guy from Gossip Girls, whose name I can never remember. His right hand mate. When you see him just cheering at the window, like they came. And
I always just say Sean Gunn because it's James' brother.
There we go.
I don't remember his name in the movie. Ever.
No, my poor wife, like, look, he was in the movie prominently, and at some point she kind of leaned in and was like, he's just the funny, weird guy on Gossip Girl. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I was like, just wait for it. He's going to be here for humor. You're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And he does have a serious moment though, where like he comes back and says like, I didn't mean to start a mutiny, But even that, he did it pretty well. So she bought it, and she bought into his character, and it worked.
Oh yeah, dude. I almost cried when he said that. He was like, they killed all my friends. Mm-hmm. Like just he did it so well. He did it so freaking well.
And you tie that into like watching Endo just like stoically stare at a blank spot while people are dragged out and hoisted into space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the movie brought a lot of emotion to the table, but it was funny as hell. It really was.
It absolutely is, and like it never occurred to me that they would. I don't know why. Again, like I pretty much just went into this like I have literally seen like I saw the teaser trailer for this thing and nothing else. Like I haven't seen anything else.
I saw 2 trailers. I'm not sure if one of them was a teaser or not. I saw like just enough where I was like, I'm definitely gonna see that. But I don't even need to catch up on it. This is gonna happen.
It wasn't even it was like what's fun about doing one of the perks of doing this show is that I absolutely have every reason to not keep up with Marvel. Mm-hmm. So when I go to a Marvel movie, I can pretty much just enjoy it for whatever it is. Like the trailer, I don't really see any trailers.
Yeah, no.
I kind of catch like reviews, and the reviews for this seem to be kind of divisive. Like people are like, "Oh, there's too much humor. It falls flat." Blah blah blah. I completely disagree.
I haven't heard any of the fan base say anything like that. The fan base of these movies has been pretty much. It's been a debate. The biggest debate I've heard from Marvel fans is it better than the first one?
I think it absolutely is. I
think it upgraded it a little bit.
Not even a little bit. I think by leaps and bounds. In fact, I would go so far as to say I think this might be the best comic book movie, at least in the last, well, I think ever. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to say that because of Superman 78 and...
No, I mean, it really might be
good.
One of the best movies that's been based out of the comic book genre. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. If you're doing a top 5 and the 2 Guardians movies aren't in that top 5, you did it wrong.
Yeah, and
James Gunn is absolutely knocking this out of the park, and the cast he's got is killing it. Yeah, absolutely killing it. Like Chris Pratt was so identifiable, like so relatable. You know,
I've heard people complain that he wasn't quippy enough in this thing, and I didn't need him to be. He was.
I thought Drax took up that
dealing with a lot of crap.
Yeah, no, he had a real storyline to deal with, but I thought Drax took up the quippy slack.
Drax was amazing.
I like the phrase quippy slack. I could just say that 100 times and kind of be happy.
Yeah, I liked Manta. I liked Drax.
Neat social experiment. Next time you're sad, just say quippy slack 10 times and see if you're not a little happy afterwards. I just think it'll work.
Okay. So yeah,
and none of that is to. Well, all right. The moment that really got me. I'm going to go to the sad parts here. The moment that really broke me was Rocket saying, you pushed them away and they still came.
Yes.
That was.
Oh yeah, that's what I was.
That was the moment where just like tears streamed down my face, and I couldn't do anything about it anymore. Like
no, I started crying when I realized what was happening with Yondu, which I was just wrapped up in this thing. If I was sitting there analytically pulling it apart like I normally do, I would have caught it, I think, earlier, but I was just sort of like, whatever. I'm going to go see this thing and see what and just kind of turned my brain off. And then once it really clued in, I was like, oh, and from the point where like Peter is actively trying to rip that spacesuit off of him to give it to Yondu. Yeah.
That is a rough scene to watch. Well done on Chris Pratt's side. I forget the name of the guy that's playing Yondu.
Michael Rooker.
Thank you. I've never seen him do a bad job. He's a character actor. He's one of those people that like every now and then you run across him and you go, oh, you.
Look, one of the actual
he did an early Walking Dead thing. Fantastic.
Walking Dead?
I think he was in The Walking Dead. If I'm not just completely wrong.
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. I think he still is.
I think he got turned into a zombie at some point and didn't quite make it.
But I'll always remember him as Mr. Svenning from Mallrats, personally.
Yes,
and
did a fine job.
I would love for him to show up as Lex Luthor if Bryan Cranston doesn't want to do it in the DCEU. Daddy Luthor.
Yes.
But from pretty much from the moment that Peter starts clawing that spacesuit off to, I mean, like, I'm sobbing. Yeah. Like, on through to, the funeral.
Even the funeral with, like, Peter's weird speech is kind of, like, heartwarming a little bit in his awkward way. Yeah. And, there's even a sidebar, though, where, like, Gamora and, what's her name? If you can help me out.
Nebula.
Gamora and Nebula have this neat little scene afterward where like Nebula almost hugs her, but it's kind of the closest. Like there's this cool storyline though with her where like I loved their fights earlier, but then I love the emotion more. Like the bit about I just needed a sister and all that. Like I just wanted a sister. Like that is rough, man. And I mean, like imagine Thanos is your dad and you basically live in this war world and you know that there's this one person that just might be able to actually take your side, but they never do. And then you have to overcome both the fact that they never took your side and the fact that you're going to have to forgive them because they were in the same place you were. They had to win.
Yeah.
It's a rough storyline. Like emotionally, it's very complex. Gillian and her do a fantastic job of making it look like extremely believable. I was so happy with that storyline.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. Like, part of me was sort of like, they wouldn't reconcile so easily. But then again, like, they like fought, she won, she pulled her from the wreckage, and it was just like, this is always where you're gonna land. Yeah, it's time for you guys to really hash this out. And just like talking about all the I love how the movie made Thanos felt, unlike the first movie. Like Thanos shows up in the first movie, which he kind of had to, but it took me out of the movie. Yeah. This time, his presence is very much felt, and he never shows
between
up.
The sisters. You understand what a bastard he is, but you don't have to actually see him.
He's the unseen wall between them, and it's just
you can see the damage he caused, and that's just in his daughters. Let's forget half the universe.
Yeah, and then like they even did it real with it, where she's talking to Sean Gunn. Nebula's talking to Sean Gunn about all the atrocities that Thanos visited upon her for not being good enough. So then later, when she reconciles it with Gamora, there are only brief mentions, and we don't have to have like the full picture. She doesn't have to go into full exposition mode with her sister because her sister would have known. Sean Gunn didn't know, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name on the movie. When I was talking to Matt, he kept repeating it over and over again. I was just like, whatever. Sean Gunn. Yeah. Sorry. It's a weird alien name. I don't know it. I'm just not going to remember.
I don't either. I wish I could like pitch in and help you right now. I can't.
I know. But such a good movie. From the beginning.
Oh, with the Groot?
With the Groot dance, as he's dancing with all the action in the back, that just reeked of Joss Whedon, like classic.
And you realize he still stopped dancing every time Drax came on screen.
Yeah, but that didn't keep up in the movie. Like he hung out with Drax a minute.
He did finally, but like it's like a running joke from the stingers of the last movie.
Oh yeah, I know.
Which was still just it was a nice touch, And
I was worried that little Groot wouldn't be quite as interesting or entertaining as old Groot.
No,
but
he was totally way more. Better.
Yeah, like the scene where Yondu and Rocket have him going to try to fetch the fin, and he just keeps bringing back different things.
Oh, it's fantastic!
That was just great, and the eye. Remember, he brings that dude's eye. Yeah, and that was a callback to the first movie. Where they were making plans, he's like, or Rocket's like, I need that guy's eye.
Like at some point, he's bringing back like corpses almost. And no, not that. It was. Oh god, it was so good. Like Yandu has to like give him his emblem, and he matches the emblem with everything else, and just everything about Taserface. Every single thing about Taserface.
Taserface. I just loved
like Rocket just laughing his ass off at the idea of someone calling themselves Taserface.
Yeah. And then the Sovereign laughing at him too.
Yeah.
Like with the ship on fire, him on fire.
Oh, and the Sovereign, the best part about the Sovereigns, other than Warlock being involved now, is clearly the like video game sounds when they lose.
Yes.
Every time they cut back to that, I laughed my ass off.
That was fun. I liked seeing Howard the Duck again.
Back like in true form.
Yeah, I liked seeing Howard
getting drunk, smoking a cigar, talking about womanizing.
No. Oh yeah. Knowing it was Seth Green made me happy.
I did not know that, but that would make me happy.
Oh, yeah. The original Guardians of the Galaxy That was amazing.
Yeah. You told me about the cast for those. If you want to repeat it, I didn't know who the cast was for that. I didn't do enough research, but
I mean, let's see, I'm not gonna remember those names.
No, Miley Cyrus was somebody.
Names. Oh, she was the computer. I don't remember the name. It's been forever since I actually read any of those.
Michael Rosenbaum was the Diamond guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Lex Luthor was the Diamond guy. Martin Nex Tanaga was Michael Rosenbaum's character. Ving Rhames was Charlie 27.
Yeah, of course.
And Miley Cyrus was Mainframe,
the computer lady.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, those were like the original Guardians from way back, and Yondu was actually a part of them. But and people have said that might mean that they're going to bring back Yondu, but James Gunn has said no, they're not going to bring back Yondu because that would totally ruin a beautiful ending.
No, it was this is the beauty of killing off characters well. We watched it. It comprised probably 15 minutes of the film, just us feeling the loss of that character, at least 10. And I mean, there were consequences. Like, I don't know the name of that whistle stick that kills everything.
I think whatever it's called, it has to be called whistle stick.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Kind of digging that. But whatever that thing is, first of all, great scene of him taking over his own ship.
Oh my gosh, it was just beautiful.
And second, it getting passed down to his first-hand mate, just gorgeous. Like Rocket puts the pieces back together and sends it to him. Oh, that's just good stuff.
Yeah. Apparently, that arrow is called a Yaka arrow.
Yaka arrow? I'm sure there's a story behind that.
Yaka arrow. That was a great line too, by the way. Where Star-Lord, during the eulogy, where he says Yondu didn't have a talking car, but he did have a flying arrow.
After hearing the actual phrase, I still like whistle stick. You're right. I think we should keep that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've never been real into the Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I mean no one has. That was kind of the surprise hit.
Oh yeah,
it's this kind of obscure piece out of the Marvel catalog, and they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean I've kind of looked back at some of the old stuff from time to time, and I don't remember these people.
No, and they've rebooted them now, where it is these people, and it's apparently doing okay.
Yeah, but my reaction when. At the end, I was like, "Wait, is this the old Guardians?" Mm-hmm. And apparently, it was. I had to look it up. Like me and Bethany sat in the car for like an hour after the show, just like looking stuff up, trying to figure out what we had just seen. Sometimes, but you know how there are going to be Easter eggs in it that you didn't catch.
You can always go to one of the major comics websites and go 20 Easter eggs, blah blah blah.
Yeah. But the reports were kind of correct. Stallone could everyone in that original Guardians or that one Ravager group who in the comics were the original Guardians of the Galaxy. They could do more movies.
Yeah, no, this premise has a lot to offer.
And some people were saying that they could actually do because the original Guardians had so much to do with time travel, they could actually just go into the future, have them jump into the future somehow and wind up being the future Guardians of the Galaxy, but somehow be the first. Do a time warp situation.
Some weird Legionnaires situation.
Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping though that time travel is involved. They're supposed to be involved in the Infinity War.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of hoping that time travel is involved, and that they kind of come back and say, "Yeah, all this is about to happen." And I would love to sit there and watch Chris Pratt explain, okay, so here's what I saw. You die, you die, you die, you don't die, you die, you die, you don't die, you don't die, you don't die, and you die. Here's what we need to do.
I really hope that's part of the script. I don't know how. I would just hope you somehow psychically saw that.
Just channeled it somehow.
Okay, so, okay. Kurt Russell, dug him as Ego, liked him a lot.
Great job as Ego. I really enjoyed him.
Fun villain.
Probably my favorite line from him was, "And yes, I have a penis."
part of me, you said it would be too much, but, I kind of kept, like, at some point in the movie, I was like, he's this cat that, like, became human and went around having sex with all these women throughout the galaxy to make offspring. Spaceman who are having sex with all these women throughout the galaxy. And his name is Ego. He should have been played by Bill Shatner.
I do. I think it would be too on the nose. I still agree with myself. And by on the nose, I mean 69.
Yeah, right. They could have changed the Hasselhoff thing to TJ Hooker.
The Hasselhoff thing cracked me up a couple times, man. That was pretty funny.
It really did. It really did. It made me laugh.
The one point we disagreed on. I think, like, for the most part, I think we had the same experience watching this movie. It was really a lot of fun. But Pac-Man pulled you out a little bit.
Yeah, and even Brent from the Squadcast, like everybody, like Matt disagreed with me, you disagreed with me, Bethany disagreed with me, Brent from Squadcast disagreed with me. They were like, well, nobody said this but Brent. He said, that was the heart of the character or whatever. That was, and I can understand, but to me, it was like when he was talking about like I can make a giant Pac-Man or a giant Skeletor.
Yeah.
That's like Chris Pratt being a silly asshole.
I mean, I like, but, yeah, like it was a silly asshole kind of thing, and then it's supposed to be the serious moment later.
Well, yeah, I just like you have Kurt Russell becoming this like giant like figure creation,
just kind of a giant generic figure, right?
Yeah,
I think you would have been happier if there hadn't been the Waka Waka side effect, and it hadn't been Pac-Man, but it was Voltron. And he just beat the crap out of that guy. I think Maybe. It was just silent, and it was Voltron, and he just, right hooked him. I think you would have been happier. But I still laughed my ass off when I saw Waka 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 Waka.
I think the idea that either one of them created these giant these giant avatars to fight with was kind of dumb.
Oh, I wouldn't think that at all. I really wouldn't.
I mean, I try not to get too deep into it.
Ego can manipulate an entire planet, and Star-Lord is
well, apparently he can too.
Yeah.
So let's get down to brass tacks.
I would just start throwing tectonic plates at a motherfucker, personally.
I don't know. I can see it either way, and I'm willing to give it up to it. Yeah, the movie was damn perfect. Every other place.
You're not going to hold the Pac-Man against it.
And as Matt on the MCU cast would say, I'm on the wrong side of history here, so I'm just going to shut up.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I enjoyed this thing. It actually made me a little worried. I'm like, how are people going to accept Wonder Woman after this thing has come out?
No, I think there's still... It's going to be a different thing, but I think we're all going to enjoy ourselves early June. I really do.
Well, yeah. I think, I'm willing to go, okay, it's going to be a different thing. But at the same time, like, I walked out of that theater going, that was better than Logan. That was better than Deadpool. That's definitely going to be better than Wonder Woman. Justice League and anything else Marvel has coming out, too. Like, I can't imagine a movie better than that, as far as superhero movies go. It was a great sci-fi movie.
Rough. I actually can agree with everything you just said, except maybe Deadpool.
No, I think it blew Deadpool away.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to wait till they both come out and watch them back to back and see how I feel.
I had no part of the amount of feels for Deadpool that I did for that Guardians of the Galaxy, and I read Deadpool, like, so I'm just
that is true. No,
I'm more invested in Deadpool as a
that's
character.
Fair. It did not make
Guardians
me cry.
Killed it.
I laughed my ass off and enjoyed the hell out of Deadpool, but I did not cry. Well, I almost did in the scene where he kind of leaves her in the middle of the night to go have that clandestine meeting.
Yeah, but Guardians 2 was just, James Gunn is a fantastic
there was
director.
A scene though where he's talking about he's hearing that he has cancer and all I can see is Marina Baccarin's face.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was pretty close to some feels. Like they inserted feels, but not like this one. Mm-hmm. No, Guardians Volume 2 inserted feels in ways that are let's face it, downright penetrative.
And Logan had the same sob effect, but it didn't have the laugh effect. Like, I wasn't cracking up the entire time like I was with Guardians. Like, Guardians, Volume 2 was a solid, I mean, God, 9 out of 10? Like, 9.5 out of 10? Like, it's damn near perfect.
I'd say 9.5 out of 10, easy.
I mean, this isn't to diminish DC at all, but oh my damn.
Good movie's a good movie, man. I mean, I'm not going to apologize for liking a good movie. Just because we have a product, I guess.
Yeah, I mean...
It was damn good. I mean...
Oh my gosh. And
anyone who hasn't seen it...
why are you listening to this? We spoiled
you
the hell
shouldn't
out
have made it this far. But if you are the kind of person who wants spoilers and wants to know what they're getting into and wants to know for sure whether they should see it, and I do know those people. Go, man, go.
Do it. I mean, the Zune scene. I love the Zune. This is what people are listening to on music. But, I mean,
over
that
300
was a small...
songs. Huge difference for Peter Quill.
Yeah. Yeah. And, when Ego, crushed his Walkman, I was like, you dick. I was so pissed.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, when he finally rebels, it's like, you shouldn't have killed my mom. Shouldn't have crushed my Walkman.
Oh, that was such a badass scene, too, when he says that I had to put that tumor in her head, and his eyes, like, Peter Quill's eyes just go from, like, spacey to, like, normal. Just like, what?
Immediately, like, what the F did you just say?
And that's the only reason I feel like the Pac-Man is maybe a little too silly, because I'm like, this is the dude that killed your mom.
No,
oh man,
I don't even see it as silly. I see it as like he saw Pac-Man as a powerful character that could like take out ghosts. Like for him, it's like if Pac-Man eats something, it's done, it's over, and it works actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, when Pac-Man ate something, that shit was over.
No, it wasn't.
No, he didn't.
The eyes just floated back to a box and became a ghost again.
No, when he had the, what those little power-ups were. If you had the power-up, it was over. So maybe you needed the power-up camouflage for that to really work for you.
No. Don't talk to me about Pac-Man. I'm the Pac-Master.
Oh, you ever run up to
about
those, like, arcade games where it's, like, Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man, and you're like, why? Why do I care? It's the same game.
No, it's not.
I'm just avoiding a thing and finding another thing.
Actually, the controls on Mrs. Pac-Man are more responsive than Pac-Man.
Really?
It's a faster game than Pac-Man.
In the arcade version?
Absolutely, yeah.
Never noticed
it's the only version I know.
Never noticed that.
Yeah, Mrs. Pac-Man is a fast... Like, they used to have a Mrs. Pac-Man in a Walmart we frequented.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt and I used to just play the hell out of that thing. And then they changed it to Galaga, and then we really played the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I had that on NES. That was a staple of me being 7 to 9 years old.
But yeah, totally. Mrs. Pac-Man is a more difficult game, but the response mechanism, like the response is quicker when you, on the controllers.
Yeah.
It really is. That might have just been the machine I was playing. I don't know.
You never know. You really don't.
I feel like I had the same.
I used to like. I worked in like
though.
They called it a PlayStation. So I worked on like a place where it was like a skating rink and a laser tag and a batting cage and a go kart thing and an arcade. And I was like 17 years old, and they'd be like, "Well, this machine's broken. See what you can do." I don't know anything about this machine. Okay. Like you'd sit down and try to figure it out. Like it really was a very rudimentary system, but you'd like sit down and try to figure out like, okay, how do I reset you so that you make the Pax man again?
Yeah.
Or the Mrs. Pax man as well.
I hated going to the arcade. I liked it a lot, but I hated having to deal with the people who worked there when I was a kid, because I always felt like they thought themselves gods.
Oh,
like,
no.
We shall decide what you play and what you don't.
Oh, no, the funny thing was on the laser tag suits, I'm not sure if anybody knows this, if you've ever thought you were cheated on a laser tag suit, that's because someone reset it wrong. Here's the fun part. You can reset a laser tag suit to full potential or less than full potential, depending on whether you know what you're talking about. So, like, you if you actually read the manual and did the thing and came in and reset everything, you could do it. But you could also handicap the bastard. So, like, if you ever got in there and someone just shot in your, 5-yard radius general direction and suddenly you're hit. Well, that's our fault, I'll say, talking for the industry.
Yeah. You know, the laser tag thing, I've always... I had friends, like Matt was one of those friends. I've had friends who loved laser tag. I had a friend in college, Jeremy, who actually did, like, he rented out the whole place for his birthday one night, and we did like a lock-in situation. And I hate laser tag.
I had a great
because
time.
I personally have it's all been pandemonium to me. It's all chaos. Like, I never see, like, I'll be just hiding behind a thing. No one can see me. I don't see anyone. And all of a sudden, like, I'm out. Like, I've been hit. It makes no sense. I don't care for it. Meanwhile,
honestly,
I'm firing away and nothing happens.
After that job, though, I figured out how to, I really didn't, like, give myself an extra advantage, but I did make sure that I kind of wasn't being screwed.
So now, you know, what you say makes sense. Clearly, I was the victim somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's out there. You can set those things to make somebody's life a living hell.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Enjoyed the crap out of it. I really don't. I hope that, you know, DC fans out there don't feel betrayed by me saying that I think that this might be better than Wonder Woman or whatever.
That was a fantastic movie.
I feel bad for saying it. Like, it hurts me to say it. Like, I don't want to have to say it. Because I want Wonder Woman to be so good. Like, I want Wonder Woman and Justice League to be better than, like, everything.
Yeah, but that's only because I'm rooting for him. I don't actually feel bad about saying it. Like, all right, for me...
You know, I kind of do. Like,
for me
I feel
personally, I mean, I'm an Alabama fan as far as football goes. Well, in the last national championship, Alabama played Clemson for 2 years in a row now. That was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. Clemson won. Good for them.
I mean... Sure, I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Like, it was a good game. I got no hate for anybody.
Yeah, sure. But look, you know, James Gunn's a fantastic director, and you know, I happened upon an article where it was, you know, very clickbait titles like "The Thing Joss Whedon Made James Gunn Change About Guardians of the Galaxy," and I was like, oh, I'm curious about that. You know. Check that out, and it was just James Gunn saying, like, well, I turned in my first draft, and, you know, Joss said, like, it's a good draft, but it's not James Gunn enough. And he's like, and he was right, I was holding back, so, like, I went back and, like, you know, just kind of went all out with what I wanted to do, and he was like, yes, that's what it is. And he's not wrong.
Good edit. Yeah, that's a good edit.
The science fiction elements of this movie are things that I've always wanted to see. Like, in science fiction, like, most of the time science fiction has so little imagination, it's almost staggering. It's like, we're in the middle of space in a spaceship, and all of the spaceship is gray, and everyone has matching uniforms.
Yeah.
And any aliens we see have bumps on their heads, and that is about the end of it. There are not a lot of robots, there are not a lot of, you know, if they're androids, they look like humans. Sure. And, you know, it's a lot of Star Trek type of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, have you seen the trailer for Valerian?
No, I ran across that. I meant to.
Absolutely have to see that. That's a Luc Besson movie, but, like, the entire movie is blue. It's gorgeous. Like, but it's a Luc Besson, the guy that did Fifth Element, and it's a sci-fi film. It looks fantastic. Or at the very least, imaginative. And that's the kind of stuff I want to see in sci-fi. Like, I want it to be a good story, and I wanted the characters to be interesting, but I also want it to look weird. I don't want it to look like everyone's standing around on a gray ship.
Right.
Which is something that the original Star Trek had, and, you know, subsequent series kind of lost. DS9 not included, because they were kind of fantastic with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, actually, they were.
So yeah. Guardians was fantastic. It was funny. It was dark. It made me cry. It made me laugh so hard that I almost puked.
A good review by itself, you know?
Yeah, when I walked out of that theater, I was exhausted. It It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I really loved
I
it.
really like that movie.
Yeah. Warner Brothers, I'm looking at you. I think we need a new Gods.
Nah.
I like how you're just like, no. We don't need new Gods. Don't want new Gods.
Nope.
I absolutely want new Gods.
No, we need Booster Gold.
We absolutely need Booster Gold. We need the Legionnaires.
Legionnaires would be good. That'd be solid.
We need the Legionnaires. That's what we need. We need a lot of things.
Actually, even the Teen
if I'm being
Titans
honest.
on the big screen would be kind of funny. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that would
I could
that
deal
would
with it.
work. That would work so hard.
I want all the things. I want to see new Gods. Like, I do. Oh, no, you don't.
You're gonna get some.
But I
of them.
do.
You already
Some
have
of
gotten some of them. I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty much the most powerful characters in the DCU, so you're gonna have to drag some of those cats in
I mean,
sometime.
their suffix is gods. What do you want?
Yeah,
They're gonna be powerful.
yeah. All right. So I don't know. I don't know what else there is to say about Guardians. I think I'm gonna wrap it up, and we'll get to DC TV news. But hope you enjoyed this this little review. I could say little
Secret
review
episode.
of Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, this little post DCEU news stinger.
30-minute, probably secret episode.
And you know, I will say this. You know, normally I say keep some DC on your screen, dude. Go watch the Guardians
Yeah,
Volume 2. Oh man, it was good.
but
like,
do not neglect Wonder Woman.
yeah, don't neglect
That's
Wonder Woman. just
that's our
because
version
it's-
this week of keep some DC on your screen. Is like go ahead and be ready for that.
Yeah, be ready for that. But you know, it's not their fault. It's like, you know, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, Guardians Volume 2 is going to be better than all this other stuff because the DC stuff is crap. No, it's like you can't beat Citizen Kane is what I'm saying. Guardians Volume 2 might be the Citizen Kane of superhero movies.
It's possible. it's possible. Gunn knocked it out of the fucking park, man. He just did.
So, and he's coming back for Volume 3, so whatever that looks like, and I'm excited about
Bless
that.
us all.
By the way, in the closing credits, did you happen to see Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
Because he's going to be in Thor Ragnarok. He wasn't even in this movie, but I enjoyed the fact that he was like there dancing.
Yep.
That made me laugh. I like Marvel Cosmic more than I like Marvel Terrestrial, if I'm being honest.
That's fair. I think they're going to come together, though, in a way. By 2019, I think you're not going to be able to tell the difference between which one you like more.
Yeah, all I know at this point is, you know, I care more about Drax's dead family than I do about who killed Tony's parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fair.
Just on the whole, like, I don't know. And that's due to Guardians. It's definitely not due to the Thor movies.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
Guardians is killing it. James Gunn should just take over the universe after if I were Kevin Feige, I might just fire the Russos and bring in James Gunn.
Oh, no,
Like,
not the
do
Russos.
whatever.
Not the Russos. If,
I don't know.
If you had suggested anyone else, I would have said, yeah, maybe, but not the Russos.
After Civil War, I think James Gunn is the rightful heir to Joss Whedon.
No, the Russos did a good job with Civil War. Sorry.
Anyway, see you guys in a minute. DC TV news is coming up, and
Hope you enjoyed
Go
this
see
Marvel
Guardians.
episode that we spit out.
please still love us.